Are you a psychic, sensitive, or seeker who wants to learn more? Welcome to the Mystic School with SARA WISEMAN, where we dive deep into all things mystic and metaphysical. Here's Sarah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystic School. Very glad to have you here today. Today, we're talking about this very interesting subject, and it's interesting. You'd think we would have talked about it last week, Valentine's Day, but I like to sort of shift things up. We're talking today about, is romantic love evolving? Learn why romantic love keeps changing with every generation. And of course, by the discussion about romantic love, we're looking at this from a spiritual and energetic component. We're not so much looking at it as the way you might think of romance. So we'll get into that in just a moment. Also want to remind you guys that it's Free Readings Tuesday today. Looks like we've got a couple people waiting. We'll get to them in just a second. And so you can call in for Free Readings Tuesday at 888-298-5569, 888-298-5569. And I'll be happy to talk with you about whatever's on your mind. For those of you who are interested in working with me directly and learning the secrets of spiritual intuition, I offer mastery training in the intuitive arts, in the psychic arts, and we do this every semester through Intuition University, which you'll find on my website, sarawiseman.com. We've got full training modules. We work by distance on Zoom. It takes you through the entire process of how to do psychic development and spiritual development. And then for those of you who want to do self-study, we also have so many courses that are very low cost. So you can look at the website again, sarawiseman.com, and just check out. There's so many resources there. If you're a podcast lover, just go to the podcast page there, and there's the Mystic School, there's Spiritual Psychic, there's Ask Sarah Radio, and there's a bunch of other podcasts on YouTube and on Spotify and so forth. So I think we have over 1,000 podcasts, all resources to just sort of learn about this whole field of spiritual intuition, what that's all about. So just briefly, I want to talk about this idea of romance and romantic love. And I like to put things in cultural perspective, because so often we are operating from this system of societal beliefs, and we tend to get really, really attached to those and really follow those. And when we look back at why we have these, we see that a lot of our beliefs were just formed because of things that happened in past generations that were kind of passed forward. So romantic love, I guess if you go really back far, the whole medieval time is when romantic love started. Love was more like lust or a property contract, and if you were lucky, maybe you got both of those together. But then there was this idea of romantic love that started around the whole the Knights of the Round Table and King Arthur and Guinevere and so forth. That is the first time that romantic love began to come forward in terms of literature and so forth. And that was the idea that a knight would pledge his allegiance to a particular lady and fight in her honor. And so this sort of the knight in shining armor idea sort of stems directly from that reference in literature. So, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight and Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table are sort of these literature places where this idea started to become formed. And yet this was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and actually thousands of years ago. And Yet these ideas have come forward, and we're still working with some of them. We're still working with this idea that the man should be in a certain role and the woman should be in the certain role. Then we add in the layer of, say, religion and the church, and say legal system, and suddenly we have romance becoming sort of a legal contract. And there's lots of reasons why things happened. Mostly society seeks to provide stability. So society likes to have things stable, secure, and unchanging. So as people started to get married, it was a contract. It was a contract that was a property contract. Then we go along further, and then around the, I don't know, maybe the 60s, people started getting divorced. Now we look at these bigger trends, like there was the trend of birth control coming into society as a whole, at least in the West. Then there was the divorces started to come in. And so society starts to change. We start to change from you had to be in a romance because you needed to be married, because you needed that protection, to suddenly the division of men and women started to become more equal. Women could vote, women could have birth control, women could have jobs. This wasn't available even decades before. So as this happens, romantic love starts to change. The women are no longer in this more dependent pattern. What also starts to change is that lifespan begins to go way up. So before romantic love, you fall in love at, I don't know, I think my grandmother was like 17 when she was married, or, maybe she was 18, but I think she was 17. You fall in love really young, or you get engaged or attached really young, because back then your lifespan's going to be 30 or 40 or 50, inching our way up. And now we're looking at people might live to be 90 or even 100, or some of you younger people out there listening might live to live a very long lifespan. And so this whole idea of till death do us part suddenly begins to not work as well, because of the way that we change from decade to decade to decade. Generally, we grow in such leaps and bounds. We are completely different people at 20 than we are at 30, than we are at 40, 50, 60. And so this idea of till death do us part, it may work perfectly, or what a lot of people are finding is that the changes that happen in the personality, in the growth of the person, no longer align after a certain amount of time. And the lifespan, because it's expanded so much, we can't just wait until death do us part, because it's going to be too long. So our whole idea around romantic love starts to shift. Then we add in this whole idea of gender and identity, and then we're shifting even further to what is love about, and what is commitment about, and what is romance versus a friendship relationship, or all of these things come up, and it's all new. So I think the idea is, because so much is in flux, just recognizing that it's in flux. And so the old ideas may no longer apply, but also the new ideas may not be quite figured out yet. The ideas of the culture may not reflect the old ideas, or the new ideas may not reflect where you're at. So beginning to work with that idea that we are in a situation that is evolving. We are in a situation that is in the midst of very rapid change. And just identifying that can be very useful. So we're not going into the old patterns. The knight in shining armor will come. Or probably not. That's from the Middle Ages, that idea. Or something new is going to come. Maybe, but we might not be quite fully there yet, or that might not be quite fully figured out. So where are we now? And all we can do is, look again to our inner our inner self, our soul self. Look again at how we want to live our own lives and what we have come to as the belief of what relationship is, what romance looks like, the importance that has in your life. It becomes a very, very individual situation as we sort of navigate through this really, really evolving piece of what it means to be human and what it means to be in relationship. Anyway, just some thoughts to think about. Let us go to, and I'm aware not everybody agrees with me. I'm good with that. All I can do is meditate on this stuff, receive what I receive, pass it on. Hopefully for some people it's going to be useful. Other people are going to be like, I don't know what she's talking about. It's all fine. I'm just here to provide what I've been receiving and see if it helps somebody out. Let us go to the phones. And first of all, we have Kelly from Vermont. Kelly, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, sure. What's going on in your mind? What can I help you out with?
I actually just called. It was like, I think one of those things that was meant to be. I'm driving in the car and I'm never off on a Tuesday, and I was able to actually call in today, and I've just been following you on your website and checking in every now and then. So I just wanted to call in. I don't have a specific question. I just didn't know if there was anything general that maybe came up.
Yeah, kind of the thing. I mean, I do like to have a general question, but the feeling that is actually coming up for you is around these ideas of being brave or being courageous, and like it feels like you have been quite brave in facing situations in your life, and you've been quite brave in sort of working with your personality. And they're saying like there's like to be even more courageous is going to be fully supported and fully rewarded. What does that mean to you, like this idea of being courageous in your life?
Just having to more like persevere, I guess, through adversities and just facing a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Just keep trying to rise up.
It's they're saying that it's more than just rising up or persevering. It's like accepting that you have what it takes to, it's sometimes people talk about like the warrior archetype, and that's it. Like you're actually, even if you don't feel this way, you're actually very strong and can totally courageously blast through the situations that are facing you, and you don't need to second guess yourself or think, oh, it's not going to work, because it is. It's like they're giving you a power boost, sort of like you can do it. So just kind of work with that idea.
I will take that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're just like, don't give up, don't stop, keep pushing, like just be super strong. And that is your path, and that is where things are going. So just keep doing that.
Okay. I just said yesterday, I said, I know I'm strong, I said, but I don't want to have to prove it. I was like trying to correct myself because I was like, how strong am I really? And then I was like putting that back out to the universe, like, wait a minute, I don't necessarily need to know how strong I am.
Yeah, so they're saying, that's interesting. Yeah.
It's something to go through something again. You know what I mean?
You have all the strength you need, plus more than you thought, and like believe that, and go forward with the idea that you're, like the Navy SEAL of your situation. Just go forward and just keep going. Yeah. Anyway, Kelly, thank you for calling. I wish you luck, but I think you actually have what you need to do what you need to do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So looks like we have, yeah, that's interesting that she asked the question and then she has this strange time on the radio and then she calls in and then I'm like, you're strong. And that was her question. So um, I think it's Anitre from Connecticut. Anitre, welcome. Are you there? Hi, are you there?
Let's just go to next caller.
Okay, let's go to Lori from Texas. Lori, welcome. Hi, Lori.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi. Oh, good. Thanks for your patience. What can I help you out with today?
Hey, Sarah. It's again a very timely call. I really appreciated the call just now. That was so perfect. Today, I've taken your intuition course before. I'm signed up for the graduate practice. I'm really looking forward to that.
Excellent.
Have missed weekly calls with you, and I've spoken to you a few times, and really love everything about your style and what you do and the way you teach and everything. So looking forward to that. Again, typically don't end up being able to make these calls, but today for some reason it just came up. I think for like the last caller, both of us, it's just kind of we were guided, I believe. And
Yeah.
along the topic today, I fully am exactly in that place with your topic today. I'm 55. My husband is 60. I think we both had the same issues when we got married, and I think we were put together to work through those. I grew past it. Maybe he didn't. We got divorced in 2013, and I was so confused about what that was about. I mean, the words coming out of my mouth were, we've grown apart. We've served our purposes for each other. I didn't know what spiritual awakening was at that time. If I'd known, I would have been much more comfortable with the decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just didn't. And, then we ended up getting remarried a little while because I never did really figure out what all was going on. But now I fully realize I have grown a lot spiritually. I've learned to love myself. He has never learned to love himself. And we just have this whole different idea of what it means, to be a married couple and to love each other. But here we've got a disabled son and we've got a big property together and we've got that contract, that legal thing going on. And, the social dogmas and the religious dogmas. And it's like, wow, am I supposed to be here? Am I not supposed to be here? What does this mean anymore? I can fully feel into the fact that all of this is evolving,
I
And
think,
it's a question, are people supposed to be together forever as
yeah,
they grow?
yeah, yeah. I don't think people are supposed to be together forever. I mean, some people are, some people aren't. It's individual. But this idea of placing a societal mandate on, I mean, we don't say to people, okay, here's your job. Catch you when you're 90. Good luck with that. We allow that people are going to outgrow jobs. And I'm recalling your situation. Um, um, I'm not really feeling that, you sort of got back together to try and see what could be there, but I'm not seeing that there's been the kind of shift that would satisfy what you're searching for with your with your relationship. And I don't know that it can be there. Sometimes, this phrase, the relationship has run its course, that's where it still remains. And yes, there's all of the surface stuff. And, obviously having a child with that's going to need care is a situation that's more unique, but it's basically the same as before. And what you and I spoke about, it's the same. And so
Yeah.
do you want more? This is the question. Do you want more of the same? That's what you can have, just stay. Or do you want to just really look at what you're truly being called to and making that really clear decision, which is not something you can do from this phone call. You've been working on it a long time,
Right.
but taking a very hard look at, like, this is your life. This is your life. Who knows how long you have, or any of us have. Do you want more of the same, or is this piece complete? And just looking at that. So Lori, I'm going to let you go, because I think you already, just me saying it's the same answer, you're going to know what that means, and I'm going to let you kind of work with that. And then I'm so happy you're going to be going forward in the spring, and that may open up some more stuff there too. Anyway, thanks for calling in. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Anitre. I think she might be here now again, and I'm hoping to get to the last caller also. But Anitre, are you there?
Yes. Hello, Sarah.
Oh,
It's so nice to hear the voice behind the name.
yes. Well, what can I help you
I'm
with
on your
today?
email list and I get all of your emails and things like that. I think you are amazing and you are greatly appreciated.
Oh, thank you. What can I help you out with today?
Well, basically, I have like two important meetings coming up soon in reference to my startup, Emerging Access Services. And I just wanted to know, like, if I'm on the right path, like, should I still pursue? Is it going to fare well? And if you can squeeze in, like, what my gifts are.
Your gifts are your amazing self. Um, and no, I mean that truly. Like, your gifts are your generosity and your
Mhm.
vision and your leadership. And I'm actually getting chills. I don't know that these startup meetings, they can work, they cannot work. It doesn't really matter. The path is open for you, and just keep going. Like, you're designed to lead, and you are called to lead right now. And so you're going forward with a mission, and don't don't even have any, of course you're going to have doubts, but just let those go. Just don't allow those in, and
Yes,
keep going, because the biggest thing is you're called to lead, and the universe fully supports this. um,
yes,
Leading without generosity is not worth anything, but you come
yes.
from leading with generosity and heart, and you are sorely needed. And so the universe
Mhm.
completely supports this. So
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. It
yeah.
resonates. Sarah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just keep going. Thank you. And I'm going to let you go, because I have one
Yes.
caller that's been also waiting, and I want to make sure I
Okay.
get them. But yeah, just, you're here to lead, you're supported to lead, go lead. So that's what you're meant to do. So, okay, thank you. Let's see, it's Han Tran from Boston. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
glad that we had time for you. So what can I help you out with? I appreciate your
Oh my
patience.
God. I need like 1 second to like calm myself out, because I've been like following you and reading your articles, and literally some of your articles like make me tears well up. Like,
Oh,
oh my
good.
gosh. Um, so anyway, I kind of having the same similar like situation as the previous caller. So I can give you a little background. I came here to Boston from Vietnam when I was 19,
Mm-hmm.
and to marry my ex-husband, and I didn't speak one word of English. I end up like went to school with no English, and I somehow made it through, and I became a nurse, and then I have my 3 children. And in the whole process of like figuring things out, how to get footed in this new country and culture, raising my kid and having career, I also was learning to find out who I was, and the marriage ended up to be broken, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very dysfunctional marriage anyway. So anyway, I raised my kids by myself, and my youngest is 17 now. And about um, 4 years ago, right before COVID, I had this. I don't know what that was, but I came home after dropping my children at the airport to go visit my family alone. And I came home and I literally walked into the house, an empty house, and I had an anxiety attack. I
Okay.
was shaking and I couldn't even lift my body up, and I couldn't even reach my phone to call 911. And it was
I never ever consider myself having anxiety attack or anything like that because I move through life like whatever the challenge come to me, I would just like, oh, bring it on. I'm dealing with it, right? I
So
didn't know what that was.
yeah, I want
But
to
anyway,
well, let me just,
yeah.
let me just stop you because we're going to be out of time and I want to give you my impression. So I think what I'm receiving for you is that there needs to be a time of, like, it's different because it's different than the other callers. For you, you need some time to, you need some private time to go very deeply into spiritual practice, meditation, and almost like integrate everything that's happened for you since, I don't know, probably your whole life. You need some dedicated time for yourself to kind of stop surviving and stop building and just review. Review, heal, discard, do this entire process. And until that happens, everything will be stuck. Like you're being called to do this process of reviewing. And I wouldn't do that with, it seems like you're very strong on, you're very strong mediumship gifts, but that's not where you're supposed to focus. You're not supposed to focus on ancestry or the departed. You're supposed to focus on yourself as a soul and your soul path in this lifetime and resolving and integrating what you've been through. And then when that's done, and that might take like a month of just like, I just need to just process. And then after a certain point in that review, you're going to come up with some guidance as to the next step. But it's really important, like you're not supposed to just go forward right now. You're supposed to take a step back and review and see who you are. Anyway, I'm going to let you go because we have to end the show, but I just appreciate your call and I'm sorry we don't have more time, but just take that in and hopefully that will provide you with a direction to move into. So thank you for calling.
I think you just tapped right in what I've been thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Take that break and give yourself a private retreat. Everybody, thank you for listening. So happy to have all the callers today. And again, Intuition University signups are going to close really soon. So if you want to get signed up, it's at SARAWISEMAN.com. Thanks for listening, everyone.